Hello friends, today we're going to be talking all about remixes. So what steps do you need to go through? How do you find a high quality acapella? How do you set up your Ableton project so you can get creative and bring your own spice into the remix, etc, etc. Now as part of this guys, we're going to be giving away our ultimate remixing guide. It has some more detailed strategies for remixing that I'm not going to have time to go into today, so definitely cop that below. Other than that, let's do it. So the first step guys is going to be getting your hands on a decent quality acapella from the track you'd like to remix. Acapellas for You is a pretty popular site with some decent options. You can also just head over to good old YouTube and go searching for a studio rip. Sometimes you can get something decent. Other times you're not going to be able to find the acapella anywhere on the internet. And in those cases, you're going to have to resort to using AI extraction software. There's a lot of these sites popping up now. And basically, you just upload a track and then can choose which element you'd like to isolate: drums, bass, vocal. Moises AI is one that I really like, and I think I pay maybe $5 a month for this one, but it is pretty good quality. And then if you'd like to do a more official remix, something that you could release on your Spotify without any copyright issues, you can head over to a place like Skio, which has contests all the time. You see here Millennium contest, Seed remix contest. And this is going to be a chance for you to, get all the stems. Sometimes there's a sample pack involved and get some recognition if you win. Places like Splice and Label Radar will also post this kind of stuff. And again, this is going to be an option if you're worried about copyright and you want to have something that you can actually officially release. Now, your last option would be to head over to Instagram or SoundCloud. Here's mine if you guys want to connect with me and, send someone a message. Send an artist a message, say, I love your track, Falcon Punch. Would you be interested in me doing a remix? Here's an idea I have. Or better yet, even send them an idea and see if they'd be interested. So once you've picked the track to remix, you're going to want to make sure that you're set up properly in Ableton. So to demonstrate this, I'm going to flash you guys a remix that I did. The song is called Storm Drain. This is the original by my good buddy Luke Rain and Chauncey. And then down here in the gray, I have all the stems, drums, bass, vocals, etc. So this is sort of an ideal situation if you are able to get your hands on all the stems. And then up here, I've marked up the arrangement, right? Where's the intro, the drops, the breaks. And then the only difference between my project and yours at this point is going to be that you're not going to have anything over here because this here in the blue is my remix that is also marked up arrangement-wise. So this is just going to be blank space over here on the left for you to work with as you're initially kind of brainstorming ideas and dragging stuff over and resampling stuff, which we'll mention in a second. The next step that I would suggest before you start playing with sounds in Ableton and messing with stems, etc., is to just open a blank Word doc and sort of have a free-flowing brainstorming session where you figure out high-level things like, how close is my remix going to be to the original? What's the genre going to be, etc. Now, in this example here, I stayed at the same BPM of 120, but the vibe is very, very different. So we'll give a quick listen through to part of the original and then my remix. So here is part of the original.
Wash it all away down the storm drain, baby. Wash it down the storm drain, baby, down the storm drain, wash it down the storm drain, baby, down the storm drain,
yo. I seek peace, but out of sequence. Trying to speak sense when my inner self trips. Don't slip on another rain slick. Hit right quick off the edge of a cliff. When you're disheveled and damn troubled. Problematic when the pain gets doubled. A lot of havoc in the storm drain, brother. Got the magic when this brainstem struggles. Get it?
And now for the remix.
wash it down the storm drain, baby, down the storm drain, wash it down the storm drain, baby, down the storm drain, wash it down the storm.
So as you could hear there, pretty different vibes between the two tracks. And by the way, definitely go check out Luke Rain and Chauncey on Spotify. They have a bunch of really good tracks, very, very talented artists. And this was part of a remix competition. And so when they were sending out the sort of description of the original, this was the little elevator pitch. What happens when you combine blues rock with EDM bass and hip hop lyricism? A non-stop banger built around a chopped and screwed hook with a heavy backline of low-rider blues drums, a fatty EDM bass line, and intelligent rap lyrics. So that kind of sums up the original. And let's just go back in time and say I had not written my remix yet. I was doing sort of a brainstorming session. It might look something like this. So first I would sort of choose a general genre. I wanted to do a down-tempo track. So down-tempo, same BPM as original, 120. Then I might sort of describe the vibe. So I'm going to go for a darker vibe, maybe ethereal intro, verb on the drums, and then I would just keep going, right? So maybe drums, really liked the fill before a drop, resample the fill and make variations. Keep drums simple so that you can add a melody. All my tracks pretty much have melodies. Melody, darker vibe, simple so that it doesn't clash with vocal, meaning, right, a vocal is going to be the main character, so I don't want to have a crazy melody. Now, as for the vocal, when I listened through the original, I remember really, really liking the chorus, the storm drain section I played. So focus on chorus, consider rearranging other parts. For example, Chauncey verse. And then I might just let the ideas flow, right? So I might say FX, record a storm drain on your street. See if that works in the song. Once you have a general game plan for your remix, I'd recommend just grabbing whatever parts of the vocal or the stems that you like best and working around those. So in my case, I knew that I really liked this part of the vocal chorus and wanted it to hit first in my track.
Storm drain, baby down the storm drain.
So I think what I probably did is just grabbed this section and dragged it over to my drop one. And that sort of informed my arrangement. I knew that I now needed 8 to 16 bars of intro build up to lead up to the storm drain chorus.
Storm drain, baby down the storm drain.
Now keep in mind that if you are choosing a different BPM from the original, you're going to have to do some warping. I did not in my case because I chose 120. Original's at 120. But let's say we wanted to write a house track at 128. We would then need to click on the stems that we're using, press warp. And I like complex mode for vocals, but definitely experiment around. And then you just type in the BPM of the original. And this is now going to be warped to 128 BPM. So definitely keep that in mind. If you say, I don't know, want to do a drum and bass remix, you're going to want to warp some of the stems, especially the vocal, and make sure that it sounds okay before you go down that path. Another really great way to work, guys, as you're generating these initial ideas for your remix is to just go stem by stem and ask yourself, rearrange, resample, or replace. So with the vocals, definitely not going to replace the vocals. They're sounding great as is, but we did just rearrange them. We grabbed this piece here, and it's now hitting first in our track. We could go to the drums and sort of just listen to different bits, see what we like. We might keep parts as is, or we could resample them a bit, add something like a drum bus to change the timbre. We could pitch it down, we could pitch it up, see if we can get any variations. Going on to the bass. Super dope, but does it really fit the vibe of my remix? I knew I wanted a darker down-tempo vibe, so I went for a respace instead, just kind of listening to the difference.
Storm drain, baby down the storm drain, wash it down the storm drain.
So having entirely different drums or bass could definitely be a good way to get yourself started as well. And then going down, maybe down to the melodics, we could ask ourselves, do we like these melodies? Do we want to add our own? You could go to a part of the vocal. You could grab this, right click, convert melody to new MIDI track to get the vocal melody. And then maybe you could add one of your own signature synths and have maybe a melodic section that sort of is a response to the vocal melody. And this is a really great way to work to just start generating ideas. Again, just pick whatever bits you like best and then go from there. So once you've generated a bunch of ideas and you've resampled stuff, you've resequenced, you've brought in a bunch of your own signature sounds, etc., it's going to be best to just simplify a bit. And honestly, probably delete some stuff. You're probably going to have a massive project, and it's much easier to just only work with the elements that you absolutely love, especially when you're writing a vocal track, because every element you add takes away attention from your main character, which is generally the vocal, right? So I'm going to play this verse here where Chauncey is rapping, and just pay attention to how minimal it is.
I seek peace, but out of sequence. Trying to speak sense when my inner self trips. Don't slip on another rain slick. Kid, right quick off the edge of a cliff. When you're disheveled and damn troubled. Problematic when the pain gets doubled. A lot of havoc in the storm drain, brother. Got the magic when this brainstem struggles. Get it? You gotta let the rain fall under. Gotta let the mainframe slumber. You gotta let the gameplay buffer. If you really wanna get the game day reach, come on. Pressure built up in the crockpot hectic. Weatherman tripping like barometric. Better get the
So not only is the vocal loudest, but also there's just not much going on. At the start, it's just the drums and the Reese, and then there's some ambience in the background that comes in and a slight progression, but it is really important to let your vocal shine. And so if you can just clean up your project a bit and only have the elements remaining that you like best, it's going to make it much easier for your brain to just actually figure out, okay, how can I actually finish this track? Lastly, I would definitely suggest bringing in some of your own signature sounds, tags, etc. Here I have my call out. Sound. Right, so this is going to make, the remix your own. It's going to add a little bit of spice and signature sound to your track. And so it doesn't have to be a call out. It could be something as simple as maybe a tom drum that you use in all your tracks or a laser zap that you really like. And definitely start keeping a folder, if you haven't already, of all of your signature sounds, your absolute favorite stuff that you tend to reuse in a lot of your tracks. Alrighty, y'all, that's it for today. Wanted to keep this tutorial fairly high level, but again, if you want more detail on some creative strategies for remixing, definitely cop our ultimate remixing guide below. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Peace.